What's good, YouTube? This is Jay from T&J, and the Brewers right now are sitting at 3-6. We're at the bottom of the NL Central, but it's a 162 game season, so we're not even worried. We are doing pretty good on defense. You know, our fielding percentage is 4th in the league. Let's just look at who's our leaders here on offense. Ryan Braun, like I said, it's kind of hard to trade a guy when he's leading your team in like every statistical category on offense. So he's hot right now. He's hitting 419. Domingo Santana is actually the surprise so far. He's hitting 345 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Orlando RC is doing pretty well at the bottom of the order, and I like where he's at. He hits 8th in the lineup because if he gets on base, he gets bunted over by the pitcher, and VR or whoever's up next can, you know, bring him in to score. Nick Franklin comes off the bench. He's only got 7 at-bats. He doesn't really have that much work. Eric Thames is in the 4 hole. He's hitting 258, which is pretty solid so far. Keon Broxton, I'm surprised. He's at 194, but it seems like when I'm hitting with him, he's hitting pretty well. Like, he's hitting balls on the screws, like line outs to left field, right field, center field. So it's just a matter of time before those start hitting the gaps. I'm not really worried about Broxton too much. And VR is I'm a little concerned about him, even though he had a pretty good game versus Toronto last time. He's still hitting 189, so we're going to try to get him on base a little more, steal some bases, because he did lead the league last year. So I'm trying to get him on base. Let's just look at Lewis Brinson and his status. I got him in AAA right now. He's hitting 269, which isn't bad. I mean, that's pretty good for AAA. You're not looking to rip the cover off of the ball in AAA. You're just looking to just get some reps, get ready for the show. So let's look at the schedule. When should we have him come up? I think I'm looking at the St. Louis series, which is a week from the current game that we're about to play here. We're going to skip over the Chicago series. We're just going to get him some extra reps there. We're going to play Chicago, and that's on the roads in Chicago, so I don't want to spoil that. Let's see the pitching matchups. Yeah, John Lackey. Yeah, I mean, let's just bring him back for a home game at Miller Park versus St. Louis. St. Louis isn't the same St. Louis they used to be, so hopefully he can get a fresh start at home in front of the fans. So just a new look for the Brewers. And with that being said, let's get into this gameplay versus the Reds. They're the little brother in the division. We're trying to beat up on them. We're just trying to get a sweep, hopefully get above 500. Let's just get into this action. Brandon Finnegan is on the mound for the Reds. We're facing a lefty, and we're going to try to steal game 1 of this 4-game series. And right away, first inning, Keon Broxton is walked to first base, but Ryan Braun hits a nice shot to third, but he grounds into a double play, and the Reds are on offense now. Jimmy Nelson on the mound. He's looking to get a win, 3.6 ERA. He's just looking to get out of here without too much damage. And Billy Hamilton, the speedster, comes up to the plate in the first inning, and he gets a nice pitch, and he smacks one to right field, and that's gonna get over the fence. Billy Hamilton, he's known for his speed, but this time he's known for his bat, as the Reds take a 1-0 lead early in the game. Jimmy Nelson, however, gets Joey Votto to ground out to third base. Joey Votto was the one I was worried about this game, but luckily we held him in check a little bit. Eric Thames comes up next inning. He strikes out. Travis Shaw strikes out, and the Brewers can't get anything done early in the game. But Jimmy Nelson's holding it down on defense. He's pitching, he's dealing, and he's getting out of the inning. But the Brewers cannot do anything on offense. Jonathan VR is going to strike out a pitch in the dirt. VR struggles again. But next up, Ryan Braun hits a little dribbler, and the Brewers just can't do anything on offense at this point. But luckily, Domingo Santana comes up.
This one is launched. Look at this. Out of here into the visitors' bullpen.
Domingo Santana stays hot. He makes it hard for me to move Lewis Brinson up with how hot he is, and he crushes his 3rd homer of the season, and the Brewers tied up 1-1 apiece. But they cannot get anything else done in that inning. But luckily, Jimmy Nelson's pitching pretty good, He's getting people to ground out. The next inning, Jonathan Villar in the 6th grounds up the middle, and he reaches first, so he finally gets on base, and the Reds are forced to bring in another lefty, and Keon Broxton hits a nice liner on a hit and run to left field, so we got guys on first and second with Ryan Braun coming up, and Ryan Braun hits a nice little hard grounder, but it's into a double play, and the Brewers just can't get it done. But luckily we tied it up with the homer by Santana. But Jimmy Nelson isn't giving up anything. He's pitching a gem here. He gets Billy Hamilton to try to lay down a bunt, but Travis Shaw is playing good defense, and he's also playing good offense.
A swing and a drive to center field. That one's got a chance. Hamilton looking up, and they have taken the lead.
All 3 runs in this game have come off of homers, and this time it's off of a lefty swing of Travis Shaw over the center field wall, and the Brewers take a 2-1 lead. But in the 7th inning, Jimmy Nelson is running into a bit of trouble. He gets a drop third strike, and the runner reaches first. He walks the next guy, and the next guy, he gets to shatter the bat and pops up to third base. So guys on first and second with 2 outs, and he gets the next guy to pop out to Eric Thames, and the Brewers get out of that jam. And Travis Shaw comes up next again, and he hits a deep one. Can he go back to back? And no, Billy Hamilton is at the wall, and look at this base running blunder by Eric Thames. He gets thrown out at first trying to get a little advantage to get to home plate on that, and he gets gunned out. But Neftali Feliz comes in for the save. First batter he faces smacks one to right field, but luckily Domingo Santana is in position. He's almost at the warning track, so we have 1 away. But Joey Votto comes up, and he can't get anything done this game. He hits a little dribbler back to the pitcher, and 1 out remains for the game. And Neftali Feliz gets the batter to strike out on an outside slider. And the Brewers are going to sneak out of here with a 2-1 victory in Game 1 of the 4-game series. Hit subscribe, and we will see you at Wrigley.